the flying spaghetti monster in the vast catalog of myths, legends, and strange beliefs. Few are as unusual or as entertaining as the flying spaghetti monster. With noodly appendages, meatball eyes, and a body made of pasta, it may sound like a joke, and in many ways, it is. But behind the laughter lies a serious story about freedom of thought, religion, science, and the power of parody. The flying spaghetti monster began as a satire, but it has grown into a global phenomenon, inspiring debates, communities, and even a tongue-in-cheek faith known as Pastafarianism. The origins of the flying spaghetti monster go back to 2005, when the Kansas State Board of Education was debating whether to allow intelligent design to be taught alongside evolution in science classrooms. Intelligent design argued that life was too complex to have evolved naturally and must have been created by an intelligent being. To challenge this, a physics graduate named Bobby Henderson wrote an open letter. In it, he humorously demanded that if intelligent design was taught, then the belief that the universe was created by a flying spaghetti monster should also be included. His reasoning was simple. If one unproven belief could be considered science, then why not another equally unproven but more absurd idea? The letter was clever, sarcastic, and perfectly timed. Henderson's flying spaghetti monster was described as an invisible being made of pasta, who created the world after a long night of heavy drinking. According to this parody belief, the FSM used its noodly appendages to shape mountains, trees, and even pirates. Pirates, in fact, were declared to be the original holy beings of pasta. As a joke, Henderson argued that global warming was caused by the decline in the pirate population. Fewer pirates meant a hotter Earth. The message was clear. Correlation does not equal causation, and scientific evidence matters more than wild claims. The letter went viral. Newspapers, television, and online communities spread the idea of the flying spaghetti monster around the world. What began as a satirical protest quickly evolved into something larger. People started calling themselves Pastafarians, dressing in colanders on their heads, and celebrating their right to question authority. The flying spaghetti monster became more than just a joke. It became a symbol of resistance against dogma and a defense of critical thinking. Pastafarianism developed its own rituals and symbols, parodying traditional religions in humorous ways. Prayers often begin with ramen instead of amen. The highest holiday is Talk Like a Pirate Day, celebrated every September. Believers claim that heaven contains a beer volcano and a stripper factory, both replenished daily. The code of ethics is relaxed, encouraging people to live good lives without fear of eternal punishment. It is all absurd, but deliberately so designed to highlight how arbitrary religious traditions can appear when viewed from the outside. But beneath the humor is a deeper message. The flying spaghetti monster is not about mocking personal faith, but about challenging the imposition of religious belief into public policy, especially education. By creating an obviously ridiculous deity, Henderson showed how easy it is to invent a religion and demand that it be taken seriously. If a flying bowl of pasta could be treated as sacred, then it raised important questions about what qualifies as a religion and why certain beliefs are given legal privileges. Over the years, Pastafarianism has been tested in courts around the world. In some countries, people have attempted to wear colanders in official identification photos, arguing that it is a religious head covering. In some cases, governments have accepted this. In others, they have rejected it. The debate continues, with some courts ruling that Pastafarianism is satire and not a real religion, while others acknowledge that sincerity and community are enough to define belief. The flying spaghetti monster has also inspired books, sermons, and a global following. Henderson published The Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, a satirical scripture that outlines the core beliefs of the faith. The book includes commandments known as the 8 I'd really rather you didn't. Humorous guidelines for moral living that emphasize kindness, humility, and a sense of humor. These principles parody religious dogma while promoting tolerance and open-mindedness. What makes the FSM so powerful is that it exposes the blurred line between faith and parody. Many people laugh at the idea of a pasta god, yet when asked to explain why more traditional religious claims are taken seriously, they struggle. The FSM reveals that the difference is not in evidence, but in tradition and social acceptance. In this way, the flying spaghetti monster is less about pasta and more about philosophy. The community around the flying spaghetti monster continues to grow. Pastafarian churches have been founded in multiple countries, often as legal experiments to test the boundaries of religious freedom. Weddings have been performed under the banner of the FSM, with couples exchanging vows while wearing pirate hats and colanders. In some regions, these marriages are legally recognized. The FSM has even appeared in political protests, reminding governments that satire can be a weapon against intolerance. Critics sometimes accuse Pastafarianism of being disrespectful or mocking religion, but supporters argue the opposite. It does not mock individuals but highlights the dangers of unquestioned authority. The FSM is not about saying religion is bad. It is about saying that religion should not dictate science or public policy. By making the absurd sacred, it invites people to think critically about all beliefs, including their own. From a cultural perspective, the flying spaghetti monster shows the power of humor. Myths are usually serious, filled with fear and reverence, but the FSM proves that parody can spread just as effectively as solemnity. In less than 2 decades, a joke has become a worldwide movement, mentioned in courtrooms, universities, and political debates. It shows that storytelling, whether funny or serious, has the power to unite people and challenge ideas. The FSM also demonstrates how adaptable myth can be. Ancient civilizations invented gods of thunder, rivers, and war to explain the world around them. In the modern age, when science explains lightning and disease, a god of pasta may seem absurd, but it serves the same purpose. It reflects human creativity, our need for symbols, and our endless desire to laugh at ourselves. Perhaps the most surprising thing about the flying spaghetti monster is that many people find genuine comfort in it. For those who struggle with strict doctrines, Pastafarianism offers a way to celebrate community and humor without fear. It creates a safe space where faith is not about obedience, but about joy, parody, and freedom. Some even say that the FSM, while not real in a literal sense, is as real as any belief system in the way it shapes identity and belonging. So, what does the flying spaghetti monster ultimately teach all of us? It teaches that beliefs can be invented, traditions can be created, and faith can be as much about laughter as about solemnity. It reminds people that freedom of thought is sacred, that science belongs in classrooms, and that humor can be one of the most powerful tools of truth. In the end, the flying spaghetti monster may not live in the sky, touching Earth with noodly appendages, but it lives in the imagination of thousands. It is a joke that became a movement, a parody that became a philosophy, and a story that challenges everyone to think harder about what they believe and why. Whether you see it as satire, spirituality, or both, the FSM is proof that sometimes the strangest myths reveal the deepest truths. Leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel, and you too will be blessed by the flying spaghetti monster.